Packers are back in town. Yes, we are. It's time for Thursday Night Football, week number 2 edition. Ready to go. It's Donnie Wrightside. It's Tom Vecchio. It's Mike Carver. And it's Joe Lisi. Ready to do some battle tonight with the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders. If we set the table for this game, gentlemen, as you know, the favorites were 3.5 all week, and that was the Green Bay Packers. We are sitting 3 across the board in a total of 48.5, Tom. Line movements there. Do you agree with it?
I certainly do at this point. We got the news a little while ago that the Packers, I should say, are going to be without 2 of their starting offensive linemen, which is certainly big. We also got a report saying that Micah Parsons is going to now look to play on 50+% of the snaps. So when he played on 29% last week and the Packers defense was awesome, theoretically the defense should only be getting better if he's going to be playing more. So like what I saw from both teams last week. And I think we're going to be right at that total, like a 24-20 type of game. We're going to get the main guys in the end zone. We'll get some props through. I don't think it'll be flying over, but I do think we'll be in that mid-40s type of range.
Everybody in the chat box saying hello to us here, ready to rock and roll. Mike Carver, you're up next here, man. What do you think about that total? By the way, DraftKings just popped the 3.5, so we are going back and forth with 3s and 3.5s between the two.
Donnie, Tom.
Yeah.
Go for the 2. Joe Lisi, good to see you guys as always here for the 30 minutes to kick off. This total is what I've really thought about all week, guys, in this game, because honestly, I don't love a side here.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think. It's still week 2. We're gathering information. I told you last week I'm not as high on Washington as a lot of people are. I don't know what to believe with the Packers yet. So the total's where I'm focusing in. Usually these early season Thursday night games are trending the under, right? I mean, these are usually, we're still slow out of the gates. This is the first short week of the season for these teams. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if I want to sweat out Jayden Daniels and Jordan Love in the fourth quarter if it starts getting spicy. I've been looking at the first half under, actually, at 24.5. I don't know if I want to go after that 48.5 for the full game.
48.5, close to 50 points here. And, looking at the new camera angles, love to see it for our guy, Joe Lisi. Welcome into the show, man. Hey,
what's up?
Guy. Yeah.
I tell you what, that intro, I felt like I was having a Zen massage there in the waiting room. I tell you, that was incredible. Incredible. I almost went out. You almost lost me in the intro, but I do have a strong opinion. I'm not buying into the dominant performance of Green Bay over Detroit. I'm not doing it, Donnie. It was a good first half performance. Offense cruised in the second half. They got shut down. I do feel that they utilized Josh Jacobs a little bit more. I did take him over his total tonight, 64.5 or whatever the number was. But I think it's still Washington wins the game. I'll take the points. I'll take the money line on Washington. I still believe more in the passing attack of Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin than I do Jordan Love. And granted, it was 6 weeks. 6 months of preparation in week number 1, but when they had to make halftime adjustments, they really didn't have to force tempo. So, again, I'll buy into Washington on the road, and I think we go through this total tonight.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it does play out because for me, like week 1 is always very interesting to see how things play out. And then you don't want to overreact in week number 2. And I always like to see, Tom, and I'll start with you first. Like during the season, I always try to say on Thursday night, make me a case for the home team or don't take any team at that point and just say, you know what, let's focus in on maybe a total at that point or even looking at some of the player props. So for me, I see the beginning of the season where you don't have that much of wear and tear. And yes, Washington had to get on a plane to play Green Bay, and Green Bay played home last week, so they're certainly rested up. They didn't have to fly home, so that is a rest advantage. But talk to me about, early in the season, mid-season, late season. How do you deal with Thursday Night Football? Because it is a distinct advantage for the home team.
Yeah, it really comes down to, divisional games, especially if we see those later, like divisional games, short week. Yeah. I do really like unders just because, they are so important, especially as the season goes on. Like this game has a step lower of importance, like it is in conference. So those do matter when it's all said and done when it comes down to, seeding. So I do value this a little bit more than if the Commanders were playing the Chargers, like that, that wouldn't matter as much to me. But I would say we're in for, again, a decent amount of scoring. The usage, I think, is going to be really interesting from a Packers perspective because they have, 4 different pass catching options that are all above 30 but below 50. So like, no one knows where the line, the production is going to go. The lines are all pretty close when it's all said and done. Josh Jacobs is the only player at minus money for a touchdown. So you can realistically take a shot on multiple players on the same team. If you like Dobbs and Wicks, you like Kraft and Reed to score. If you take a shot on 2 of them, as you always see with RBIs, you just need one of them to come through because the books have no idea who's going to score tonight.
No, you're right about that, too, because you are looking at some of the props. Let's start with the quarterbacks here, Mike, and I'll start with you first. Jordan Love, Jayden Daniels, just looking at FanDuel right now, 236.5 is Jordan Love's prop, 228.5 is Jayden Daniels. If we're looking at touchdown passing props, over 1.5 touchdown passes for Jordan Love, minus 110, and Jayden Daniels the same with 1.5, but juiced at a plus 122 here for them. Are you looking at any quarterback prop, outside of the rushing market, just passing itself? Are you looking at either Love or Daniels?
I think if for me, I'd only be looking to Love tonight. Actually, I don't love chasing Daniels in the passing game, and I know that he can get there. We've seen it in the past. You never know how much he's going to run. When I look at Love, 236.5, feel like this is a game where Green Bay is going to throw. Going back to what Tom said, so many options there. We'll get back to those later, especially in the touchdown market with some of the Green Bay wide receivers. But for me, it's the touchdown passes, Donnie, where I want to go. I don't know if I want to chase the yards. If you think this game gets in that 48.5 plus area tonight, that's telling me that we're going to get some points. So how about both guys over 1.5 touchdown passes plus 238 for both guys to go over 1.5 touchdowns?
I mean, we got 48.5 points. Like, we're not 37.5. And it's like, oh, no, it's Lambeau Field in December that's, 22 degrees and the wind is howling with some snow in the forecast. Like, we are expecting points tonight, Joe. And I'll ask you the same question. Love and Daniels. Now, we know you love Jayden Daniels at this point. It's probably, take Jayden Daniels. But what are we going to get out of the passing games between these two teams tonight?
Well, I think definitely Jayden Daniels could get through his number. I do have concerns about Jordan Love, because he passed for 188 last week. His numbers was 234.5, and they score on the first 3 drives, but then had to shut it down. So is it more just game plan because Detroit didn't push tempo, or is it more that we see Jordan Love and that offense just not making adjustments, and all of a sudden they struggle again? I'd much rather buy into Washington. I did take, just so you know, Zach Ertz through his total. I took Zach Ertz on the receivers, plus 280 to score a touchdown. I did take a shot on the touchdown jackpot. We got it last week with Caleb Williams.
And Odunze.
And then Dunze. I'll take a deep shot. Luke McCaffrey, 27-1 to score tonight.
Luke McCaffrey.
I will say this, when it comes to Love, I don't have any Love props tonight, but and they are missing 2 offensive linemen. And that worries me when it comes to Jacobs. So I would be interested in Love props, Love passing props, yardage, rather than Jacobs, because just if he has to throw the ball 40 times because they literally can't run it because they're down 2 starting offensive linemen, he'll get there based on, attrition and volume rather than efficiency. So I'm not, like as Joe says, I'm not super high on Jordan Love just in general. But if one player were to go over, I could see it being Jordan Love. And that's a way to go about it instead of trying to pick which receiver he's going to throw to, because the options are all good, but none of them are great.
Yeah, if we keep it on the ground game at this point, we can start to include the quarterbacks as well, Tom. You got Jayden Daniels, 44.5 listed there, as well as Jordan Love, only 5.5. I'm always the buy low numbers. Hey, take Josh Jacobs because he's going to get 15 to 20 carries in the backfield. Makes some sense, right? Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who's down to 38.5. Everybody's love child last week, who had 10 carries, 80-plus yards, and now you're going hey, wait a second, it's 38.5. It almost feels like we're getting set up at this point. But, Mike, I'll ask you this question, too. If you are looking, Deebo Samuel at 4.5.
I was just going to say it, Donnie. Donnie.
Number go. That's 1 carry. He's getting 1 carry, right?
Donnie, we are reading the same mail.
You don't
I love this. Reading the same mail.
Come on now.
4.5 for Deebo stuck out to me because if you saw last week, I think the one thing you were watching with the Washington offense was how are they going to integrate Deebo? How is he going to be involved? And he was very involved. And that they're going to try to get him the ball in space in all kinds of different areas. Tonight, it could be with a couple carries. 4.5, Donnie?
Yeah,
come on, baby. Let's roll. Can we alt that, Joe? Joe, alt. Yes. Up. Let's break one, Joe.
He had the touchdown last week.
He'll have another one tonight, Joe. How about that?
Oof.
I like Terry to score tonight. On top of having I don't know if I said it, but I do like Dobbs to score this week. And I do like Terry. Dobbs last week, what was it? At least in week 1, if I could find it quickly, he had, an 18.2% target share, but more importantly, led the team with a 33% red zone target share. So I will always buy into player usage and players that are high utilization in the offense but haven't scored. It's like if you look at high exit velocities, Donnie, for baseball, that player's going to go over his total bases at some point. So I'm buying into Dobbs this week. I'm buying into DK, Lad McConkey on Monday night. We have a doubleheader. I'm already on a Lad TD prop, already on DK TD prop. So players that have high utilization and don't score are my favorite.
Donnie, this shows you they're scared, because if you go at least on FanDuel with the alts,
they
always alt everyone else 5, 10, 15.
Sure.
They have 5+ minus 122, and then they don't have anything else.
Nope.
They're scared. They know. They don't want to put that 10 plus, 15
yards.
plus, 20 plus. He breaks one. They don't want to. They don't want to be holding the bag.
But can you do his alt rushing plus receiving? Can you do that?
The my way?
Because
you know what? I didn't check on the my way, Donnie. I don't know if the my.
I'll be honest. I remember testing that
my way.
I remember beta testing that thing when I was at FanDuel like a year and a half ago. I remember testing that thing, and I was like, this is a nonsense.
By the way, Lisi, talk to me about Big Bill, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 38.5. Why are they hanging that number going like, you got to take it? You got to take it. It's almost like saying the Josh Jacobs touchdown number. They don't want you to bet it, which you know what that means. He's going to score tonight. They want you betting that Krosky-Merritt number.
They do, but he had, 82 yards last week, and they're going up against a more physical front seven, or you would think that Green Bay now is a little bit more physical with Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons. Here's the thing, though. I would go with secondary running backs. I would go with Eckler, and I would go with, Jayden Daniels on the ground and Rodriguez before I would go with Merritt. That's just me. I think on the road, they're going to utilize a bigger back. But that doesn't mean Eckler can't eat. I mean, 20.5 for a rushing total is light to me. So I did take that, too. I put a parlay together. The Zach Ertz, 40+, Zach Ertz for a touchdown, Eckler to get over 20.5, and Jacobs to get over 60.5. And I'll just say this, to Tom's point, I understand that there's tackles out. But, again, backups, we're just expecting, like, all of a sudden, if they average 100 yards per game, that they're just going to regress to maybe 30 or 40. They still probably get about 80, 85% of the productivity, and the play calls will be there.
Right.
And so LaFleur, to me, in big games, and this is what I want to see different. Are we going to see Jordan Love air it out, or is he going to rely on Josh Jacobs the way he did all at the end of the last season, where he got 80% of the carries in the first half to build the lead? If they do that, then I really think they're handcuffed, and I think Daniels could take advantage of them tonight.
How about anybody on the floor can certainly answer this here? Jayden Daniels was on the report to say no big deal about a wrist injury. Anybody concerned about that at all tonight, or water under the bridge?
No, I don't.
I don't think it's anything to be too crazy about. I really don't. I mean, I didn't think he looked that great on Sunday against the Giants.
I don't think they needed to. Like, I'm trying to figure out, Mike, like, it's like we watched, like, Detroit was supposed to be really good. Like, hey, same team coming back with no Ben Johnson. Like, the Packers really handled them. But at the same time, you didn't get much of a pushback from the Giants. So I thought they coached very well for Washington. They had a ton of penalties in that game. Like, hey, just don't implode and the Giants can't beat us. I'm interested to see if they get aggressive tonight, because Jayden Daniels at FanDuel, at least, went from 44.5 to 45.5 his rushing prop. I love it. Like last year when he came into the NFL, Donnie, what's a play that you like? Just give me his over rushing yards on a week-to-week basis. He'll blow that out. I look at Washington winning tonight and going like, that can't be Jayden Daniels at 23 yards rushing. Like, I'm thinking big scrambles, big time 3rd and 11 conversions just by his legs on a pass rush that's coming to town.
I think on Sunday in week 1, you saw a little bit of what a lot of us talked about for months and months and months heading into the season. And that is, did all these defensive gurus, as Joe likes to say, around the league, did they all spend their time going over 17, 18 games of Jayden Daniels tape and figuring out how to stop him? I didn't think the Giants did a bad job stopping him per se on Sunday. Their offense is just pathetic. So now tonight, Packer defense, a little bit better. I'm not sure. Donnie, you might be right. Maybe just taking him to run around and hopefully get you 45+ rushing yards might be the way to go.
Yeah. No, I like Joe. What are you thinking? Rushing on the ground? Now, I know you. You like to go contrarian. Is that Jordan Love 5.5 yards screaming at you right now? Like he's going to get at least 15 in this
He
game?
doesn't run anymore, Donnie. He doesn't run anymore.
Tendencies, Joe. Break the tendencies tonight.
He might. I mean, I like Daniels through the air, and I Love, again, I want to see it before I believe it. I mean, I want to see what the first quarter looks like. If he's down under 200 yards, Jordan Love, then I'll jump in. I mean, we got some good value last week with McCarthy and Caleb Williams. I mean, the total, we got everything. I mean, it flew right through the pregame in the fourth quarter. So we have an opportunity tonight. First quarter, we could get this total down to 40, 41. That might be an area to buy in, but I still think it's Daniels through the air. And Jordan Love might score, but I can't do the 5.5 rushing yards, Donnie. I just can't.
Just taking a knee at that point. What do you got?
I will say my favorite player prop for this game is one that I tweeted out the other day is Eckler over 20.5 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
FanDuel and DK had that at 24 and 25. Fanatics had it at 20.5. And, if they're going to be bringing the pressure to the Packers, that is, especially if Parsons is going to be playing on more snaps compared to last week, those easy checkdowns for Daniels to Eckler, like he can break those off, and we just need a couple catches, 8, 9, 10 yards a time. And, I mentioned in the tweet last week, Eckler, it's kind of the role that he's played last year as well. He had a negative 2.3 ADOT. So he's being targeted behind the line of scrimmage, those easy, quick hitters. Give me chunk plays, and he gets over that in 2 or 3 catches. So that's my favorite prop for tonight.
Look, I think that I always love the Eckler receiving time. I'm with you there. It's for me. I think a lot of that could play in. Do you think Washington is trailing in the second half of this game?
Even if not, he plays in the 2-minute, 4-minute offense at the end of halves, and Bill Merritt just does not play that role yet. So I just will Eckler's just the guy that coaches love. He's gonna be Samaje Perine. He's been in the league forever.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had enough of this Wild Bill guy already. It's 1 week. Can this guy do a little bit more first before he's the next Derek Dickerson? Honestly, Joe, you got me with enough of the Wild Bill guy. Do we have to anoint the guy? He's played 1 game. Enough.
Who named him Bill?
What?
It's a nickname from he looked like a cartoon character that he was a fan of growing up. They just called him Bill.
Well, that easy.
All right, there you go. That's it, Bill. That's it. I don't know. I'm watching the college game here. We got 7-0 Wake Forest.
98-yard returns over there. Boring. I didn't even know college football was on tonight. We might as well start talking some WNBA action.
Oh, stop. Come on.
Put it with the golf. There's a big golf tournament going out there on the West Coast, Joe. You should be in there. By the way, Carver, who's winning right now in that golf tournament real quick?
The Pro Corps, Donnie. Yeah. Now, I had to run away for a little bit this afternoon because I had the softball team had practice. But Mackenzie Hughes, 9 under today, going off.
Mackenzie Hughes, he's Canadian, right?
Now, there's still some guys out there. Yes, he is Canadian. Now, Russell Henley, 7 under through 15. They're still playing. Remember, West Coast here.
Yeah.
So there's still some guys out there. But in the clubhouse, little Mackenzie Hughes is 9 under so far at the Pro Corps.
Okay.
Put it with the golf. And by the way, Tom, you always talk about if we get a slow start or not. What is your anticipation tonight between the Packers and are we firing right away, or does this have a chance to be 3-0 at the end of the first quarter? Then we just jump on it and they just go, ape after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 3-0. I would be surprised if neither team scores a touchdown in the first. So if you told me 7-3 either side after one, I think that's what we should be at. But again, as Joe, I think you mentioned it, we get a live total 41-ish, 42. I think that looks really good. Jumping in on a live total.
I like this first half under 24.5, and hopefully it's nice and low, and then we bang the over at halftime. Yeah. The live over, we bang it at halftime.
Smash
it. Right. I'm taking Washington. I like the dog tonight. I think the dog is barking. That's it.
Jayden Daniels play for Green Bay. Would that be Green Bay's the play tonight? That's what it sounds like.
He's the better quarterback. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. All right. He is the more consistent, better quarterback. He's got potentially better weapons. We'll see. We'll see if Jayden Reed steps up tonight.
Joe, by the way, Jayden Reed stepping up tonight. I'm glad you're talking about receivers here because I know you're in on Zach Ertz. And 34.5, man. Doesn't that feel like he got 5 catches tonight?
Again,
the catch, but he can still do it.
Well, think about this. If they're going to blitz or they're going to bring pressure off the edge with Rashawn Gary and potentially Parsons playing 50%, that opens up running lanes, and then that puts pressure on the linebackers to cover Ertz. And Ertz, let me tell you, he looks fantastic. He looks like he's rejuvenated.
Does he
I
really
mean, two passes, Donnie, he can get 40 yards.
Yeah.
I like him for pay dirt, though, too. I think that number is pretty intriguing at plus 280. I think it's a pretty good price. And again, with checkdowns, I think that's always an option.
Yeah. What do you say, Tommy?
No, I think that's totally fine. Like, I'm just looking at Ertz 3.5 receptions at minus 130 to the over. You know, like a part of me thinks he can almost go over his receptions, but under his yards if they're that quick of, checkdowns.
By the way, if we do touchdown props tonight, and if anybody got any fired up parlays here, we'll get to those in just a moment. But Josh Jacobs, he's been on the move all day. He's now minus 210. He's Saquon territory from what we saw on opening night for the Cowboys. I honestly believe he scores. Says, I'm not going to lay the 210, but trust me, when they get down to the 3-yard line, Joe, right? It's not the quarterback running that football, and he's getting that. But outside of it, I always like to look at wideouts. Like, you can get Debo and McLaurin. Plus 175 and plus 170. And as Mike was talking about, if we're getting touchdown passes tonight, which 2 plus quarterback isn't a lot, you figure it's probably going to go to one of those 2 wide receivers here. I always love taking the double shot on a team at wide receiver and going like, just give me one of those cars.
Yep. You look at the Packers tonight, and it is so spread out, especially in the touchdown market where they're at. And just to give you the range of it, Reed is on FanDuel plus 210, Tucker Kraft 210, Dobbs 240, Golden 260, Wicks 5-1. Wicks at 5-1 is probably going to be my jackpot play for tonight. I think I'm going to go with Wicks for that one because this guy, he's involved in the offense, and his number is 17.5. I know the volume. That could be one catch for Wicks. He could get a 19-yard grab, and you're done with it. So I love Wicks over 17.5. And I think you're right. I think we take a shot on 2 guys. Wicks will be one of them for me. Maybe Dobbs or Golden will be the other. But I'm going to take 2 Packer wide receivers to find the end zone.
How about Tommy? Go ahead, Lisi.
I was going to say Malik Heath. This guy always scores.
Who?
Heath, 19-1. Malik Heath. How about McCaffrey and Malik Heath tonight? What is that? What is that parlay? Are you kidding?
Because you want to know why, Joe? Because you want to do. I said it. That's Caleb Williams the other night because you got hot here. You hit a long shot in the first touchdown with Caleb Williams on Monday. So now you want to be able to puff your chest out. I said it. You tried for another one. Malik Heath.
How about
Come
this,
on, Joe?
Ready? Jacobs, McCaffrey, and Heath on a $50 parlay pays $21,000.
How about Colson?
What are we doing?
How about Colson Yankoff, Tom Vecchio? Any idea who? I don't even know who that guy is. What is that? A backup tight end?
I think so, but a 3-leg parlay on second and third stringers. My goodness.
Just did it. 21 G's.
Tom, that's nothing. You should see what me and Joe used to do for 2 hours every night on the radio. Some of the zany stuff that we used to throw in at night. That's right up the alley.
Love to see it here. By the way, any game specials that you like? Because I'm telling you, it looks like a perfect night for me, Vecchio, where it's 1 touchdown pass, 1 rushing touchdown per team. Feels like it fits tonight. It really does.
Let's see. Game specials is always interesting.
I love the game specials. Did you see the 5 yards per quarter? Like, I'm almost like Jayden Daniels and Josh Jacobs, 5 yards rushing per quarter, plus 650 on the night. Like, I think this is one of those nights where you could get a lot of action for fun tonight on a cheap price.
You could. The issue would be fourth quarter if Washington, if they are ahead, and then you get kneel downs for either of the quarterbacks.
That would be devastating.
The one would be Jacobs to record 5+ rushing each quarter. It is minus 130, so you're not getting an amazing price on it. But like, if Jacobs is not getting to 5+ in each quarter, then what's happening in the game that he's not involved at that capacity?
Yeah.
I feel good tonight. Luke McCaffrey and Malik Heath. We'll get it in the first quarter. Malik Heath.
Okay.
You go wait. At least, and again, the best part, like, what was it? In Michigan, Donovan Edwards. I'm going with that guy. Like, what is Joe going?
What do you mean, Donovan Edwards? Yeah, I mean, go with that guy. It was the starting running back.
Joe gets these big hits, and it's good. It works out in the long run. But Joe gets a big hit, puffs the chest out, miss, big hit, miss, big hit. That's how Joe does it. Just strikeout, 3-run homer. Strikeout, 3-run homer.
Aaron Judge. That's it. There you go. I know. Looking at the charts and graphs. Here he is. I forgot he's a wheel.
Say something.
He's a wheel now. That's it.
Not
me. He's a wheel play.
All right, updates here on the line. Still 3.5. DraftKings is offering you that. Threes across the board. -3, Bet365 just went to -115. Still that 48.5. So if we do a quick wraparound again on what we like on tonight's game, Tom, I'll start with you first. Props, touchdowns, anything you got, man. What is it?
Yeah, Dobbs for the touchdown jackpot. I think he gets involved. I like that. Eckler over 20.5 receiving yards. That's my favorite play of the game. I would say a live total at over 41, over 42 looks really great. If we do start slow, we can go there. And, small play on Packers first half -2.5.
Gotcha. What do you got, Carver? What are you thinking tonight?
First half under 24.5 is where I'm going to start. I'm going to use Wicks for the touchdown jackpot at 5-1 on FanDuel. I am going to, like I said, I'll take another Packer receiver as well. It's probably going to be Dobbs, honestly, at +240. I like Debo to score at +175 and that over 4.5 rushing yards for Debo as well. Might mix in a little SGP. Wicks over 17.5, Eckler 25+ alt receiving, and Jayden Daniels 40+ alt rushing, +424 for those three.
I like it.
What do you got?
I'm on Washington.
Load them up.
Washington +3. I do have a parlay. Jacob 60+ rushing. Eckler 20.5 rushing. Ertz for a touchdown. Ertz over 40+. I did take Luka McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Did take Ertz anytime touchdown. Jacobs anytime touchdown with Heath and McCaffrey. I'm going to wait to see where Daniels is after the first quarter. Jump in there. But I really like Washington tonight, and I do feel we get through this total. I just didn't pull the trigger at the 48.5. I want to see if we get a scoreless 8 minutes. Jump in then.
Yeah, give me the hook on Washington to 3.5. Yeah, I don't love it because, again, still flying blind really on week number 2. Week number 3, this show is going to be so much fun moving forward. We actually know exactly what's happening here, but it's fun to sort of contemplate what we think. And this is one of those games where we look at, from a running back position, what Green Bay is going to have. From a running back position on Washington, we technically don't know because we haven't seen a lot from who's actually going to be the bell cow. And the wide receiver position feels like you're never going to get a more wide open. Like, there's really good wideouts tonight. I just can't pinpoint. Like when the Eagles play, of course, A.J. Brown, you're looking toward Devontae Smith. Like, Mike, when I look at this lineup, I'm like, I don't want to be wrong. Like, I love Dontavian Wicks. Like, the guy didn't play in the second half. Like, it feels like it could be one of those games where you get surprised. But for me, I like Washington with the 3.5. Touchdown prop. I think Josh Jacobs gets in. The -210, it's expensive. I get it. When he scores in the first quarter, you're going to be pissed off you didn't take that bet. And I'm going to split the wideouts here, which right now live on FanDuel. Debo Samuel +180, McLaurin +170. One of those gets in. If they both get in, it's a party. That's where I'm going with that. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I will say the slow start is something I'm going to be paying very close attention to because these offenses should be able to put up points. I think the 3 or 3.5 is fine to take with Commanders. If you're just looking for something really simple in the game. The one thing I will note is if Jacobs gets off to a slow start on the ground, I think he will be heavily involved in the passing game as the game moves on.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Look at that. Half hour goes quick, man. The fun, the boys back in business here, Mondays and Thursdays, having some fun kicking off. Any final thoughts from the boys tonight on what we're looking at? The floor is yours, guys.
Monday, we got a doubleheader, so we got to be ready for that.
Oh, that's right.
We have the first game is, what is it?
Bucks Texans.
Bucks Texans and Chargers Raiders.
You're crazy. I'll be out of the mix on Monday night. So
he double booked himself, Carver.
What is this out of the mix? What are you talking about? Out of the mix? You made a commitment.
Call of Duty. I got called in. Call of Duty.
A block, C block. D block at this point. So.
I like that it's a traditional doubleheader, by the way, and not like the nonsense.
I don't. I got to get up early.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't like the 7:50 and 8:36. Back at 40 minutes. I liked it. This is the way they used to do it on those opening Monday night Week 1 games. 7 and 10, East Coast, West Coast. Let's go.
By the way, it is fantastic. The non-bye week NFL weeks are so much fun. We can afford to double down. You don't miss any action on Sunday. Awesome card this weekend as it sets up. And again, we do 30 minutes to kick off on Sunday. Tom Vecchio, last week, Big Man on Campus, joined us here. And Mike, if you're free on any one of those Sundays, man, you're more than welcome to join us there for that half-hour kickoff. It's just a sprint to have a lot of fun. But the boys are back in town, kicking it off, everybody. Thanks for the chat box here. Guys, we're very passionate out there. And each week, looks like we're getting more and more views here. So we'll continue to do this and have some fun. So good luck on your bets tonight. Washington versus Green Bay. For the boys, Donnie Rightside, Tom Vecchio, Mike Carver, and Joe Lisi. We'll see you next time.